So, it appears that Ezra Miller is still the Flash. Earlier on, it was rumored that he was about to be shown the door because I believe May was the month that his original contract would lapse. And there had been no movement on the Flash solo movie, which had been in limbo for a long time now. It's supposed to have come out a long time ago. And it's gone through different hands and different versions. There was talk of a Flashpoint movie, which, with the troubles they've had with the DCEU, seems like that would have been an interesting thing to do to kind of reset it and all that. Now there's rumors the Wonder Woman film will do that. Well, anyway, and he was not exactly well received, and I think that has more to do with Ezra Miller himself and his public statements and whatnot. Let's take down the patriarchy, the hetero-patriarchy or some such, and Gal Gadot had to rein him in as the only adult in the room, all that type of stuff. But his performance in the Justice League, which of course is a severely flawed film for all the reasons I'm sure by now you know, but for what it was, I didn't have a problem with it. There was too many jokes for him, which I think were kind of tacked on, and it went overboard. And what about brunch? What's that? You know, that kind of crap. But other than that, I thought for the context of the film, he worked out all right. It's just that's not really Barry Allen. But, Jason Momoa wasn't really Aquaman either, was he? But did all right. So it's what you get. But if you're a Flash purist, I perfectly understand that, and you're never really going to accept this guy. But could they do a good film? Yes, they could. It just wouldn't be the film you want when it comes to purity of character and all that sort of thing. But anyway, so now the report is that Andy Muschietti or Muschietti? Anyway, the guy who directed the It movie. Apparently he's in talks to do this with a script by Christine Hudson, who wrote Bumblebee and the Birds of Prey. Now, Birds of Prey is a film that's not looking all that great to me. It's really just the Harley Quinn movie, and so why not just make it Harley Quinn, you know? But that's another story. Of course, I'm never going to accept the idea of Harley Quinn as this anti-hero. No, she's a psychotic murderer. And that's her story. You want to do a great Harley Quinn story, adapt a live action version of Mad Love. And there you go. That's Harley Quinn. And Margot Robbie could knock that out of the park. She really could. But this just looks like another Ghostbusters thing. Anyway, back to this. Earlier, Ezra Miller, when all that stuff about him being shoved out the door was being rumored, at least when it comes to The Flash, he recruits Grant Morrison to come up with a new screenplay. And I thought, wow, that's a clever move, because Grant Morrison is quite a big name, especially when it comes to The Flash, for doing a great superhero story. And, since Christine Hudson will now be writing the script, maybe it's that he went to Grant Morrison for ideas of where the story could be, and then he brings this to what he wants, and Christine Hudson's going to have to flesh that out into a screenplay. And there you go. Maybe it's something along those lines, because early on he butted heads with the Spider-Man Homecoming team that was brought in to do it. And even when I heard it, because I did not like the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, I didn't, because there's another character, and I am a Spider-Man purist. That's not Spider-Man in any way at all, except I guess the suit was sort of Spider-Man. But anyway, well, no, it wasn't, because it had a Knight Rider technology into it. So it didn't even get that. So I wasn't thrilled with the announcement that those guys were coming in. And so, but Ezra Miller apparently didn't like them either. He wanted this darker story, and that always makes everyone cringe about DC, because they figure the Snyder versions of these characters were too dark and that sort of thing. But the story just has to be good and make sense. And there's a lot of flaws in those movies, and that's more the problem than whatever darkness there may be, in my humble opinion. Yes. And it's interesting. He made mention of the multiverse and that sort of thing. And the Flash would be a character that's very pivotal to that idea. And yeah, that would be a cool thing to pursue. But it seems Marvel has already beat them to that, apparently. I haven't seen the new Spider-Man movie. I suppose I will. I've heard it's better than the other one, so there's that. But apparently that's, at least according to the trailers, that's part of the plot. And once again, DC is having to catch up on a storyline that they owned. I mean, they really pursued the multiverse stuff way, way, way back, you know, in the late 50s, early 60s. So, and it was just a part of their ongoing universe. They've been a multiverse since then. Well, they just didn't get off the ground with what they had, and apparently they still can't. So the Flash movie seems to be back on with Ezra Miller as the Flash, and that's how we'll go. The other story was that, Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. Well, this is all because of this article about his latest series with Witcher. And here, Cosmic Book News is talking about that, and there's the picture of him as the character from Witcher, which I thought had a beard. But anyway, there he is in that, and that's his new series he's working on. After that, he's going to be Sherlock Holmes in the movie with the girl from Stranger Things, and it's more about her, so I don't know how much footage he'd have to tape since he's not the main focus of it. So he theoretically could still do a Superman movie, which I think everybody would really like. But the article just refers to him as ex-Superman, so everyone took that as me, oh my God. But then there was that article, I forget where they mentioned Ben Affleck, who will be playing Batman in Justice League 2. And Ben Affleck has pretty much officially said he's no longer Batman. So there's these things that get tossed around. Does it mean that he's no longer up for a Superman film? I don't know. The last time any Superman film was mentioned was in the context with James Gunn, when he was offered a DC film, and they originally offered him Superman, apparently, but he opted for Suicide Squad. And so that meant there's still something, and they know they want to do a Superman film, but there seems to be such a disarray with Warner Brothers. Even now, when they had their big hit with Aquaman, I suspect that caught them completely off guard. They were in the middle of it, so they had to finish it, and they did it. And then it won big, and now they're like, whoa, what do we do? So there's a lot of disarray going on, and this article on Bounding in the Comics touches on it, where you have a breakup of communication, and they're in disarray because Sugihara had to step down. He got Me Too'd over his affair with an actress, and then this new woman, Ann Sarnoff, is taking over, so she's coming in. And it's still kind of a bit chaotic there. So she's going to have to settle everything down and organize all this. Because like James Wan, who brought them Aquaman and the Conjuring universe. And here he is, his Swamp Thing series, and they cancel it after one episode. And he's like, I don't know why they did that. They don't talk to the man. So not too clever. You don't want to rub them the wrong way. As for Ezra Miller, and they want to keep on to, like, people were upset and they didn't like the costume, they didn't like him, and all this sort of thing. So I don't really see a lot of popularity for him being the Flash as I did with Henry Cavill being Superman. But it may be that he's popular with the Harry Potter franchise and the Fantastic Beasts, which I know nothing about, but he's in that, and there's a third movie that he's going to be in. And maybe they don't want to, burn bridges with the guy over that. So they'll give him a shot at the Flash, because in the end, Warner Brothers doesn't know what the Flash is and doesn't know what to do with it. So they just, hey, maybe something will happen. We'll get lucky again, like Aquaman. So, and there's this little statement from Toby Emmerich, and we're playing by the DC playbook, not the Marvel playbook. Now, yeah, they keep saying that crap. No, you're playing by the Marvel playbook now. Very simply, you do standalone movies that build to something bigger, perhaps down the road. And you're kind of stuck with this. So you're sticking with all these characters. Even with Batman being replaced, that movie is still set in the past, apparently, in the 90s. So theoretically, Pattinson could be playing the same character that Affleck played. He's just younger, and it takes place 20 years ago. So all of this could still be made to fit should they choose to do so. They've got Wonder Woman that people are looking forward to, which is successful, and now they have Aquaman, which was successful. Shazam was moderately successful. It was not the big hit Aquaman was, but they didn't lose any money on it. And so they're going to do that. And theoretically, you could argue that's not in the same universe. You could say it's a different one, even though they refer to Batman. It's the same Batarang and the scenes of Superman, although you never actually see him or his face. It's the same suit, more or less. I think they added a little different belt or something. But anyway, all that stays in place, and you just produce movies that are more solid and more simplified in their adventure and whatnot. And that sort of thing. But the basic thing is they tried to do it differently than Marvel by doing it ass backwards. Their big in-game event, they did that first, or rather second, I guess, after Man of Steel with Batman versus Superman. You just can't do it that way. And looking back, maybe Batman vs. Superman should have been Dark Knight Returns, and then said, hey, you know what? The other movies will tell you what happened in between. I don't know. But it just, and as much as I enjoyed Batman vs. Superman, the complete cut, it's still, it's a very flawed film. And just it would be dishonest for me to ignore that. Even though I understand why people had problems with it, and it was not going to deliver the goods the way they wanted it to. And it was putting too much pressure on it to do that, to put it in that position to do in one movie what Marvel did in 5 years. Not going to work. So now here you are, you concentrate on these films and you build them up on their own, and you have stories that work. Now, little mentions of other universes and stuff could just be as simple as the Easter eggs like they had in the Shazam movie, and the Flash could do the same, and that sort of thing. And we'll see what's going on with Wonder Woman. It looks like a time travel plot and all that, but we'll have to see. And if that says, oh, everything's changed, and then they replace Superman with a new actor for that reason, yeah, okay, whatever. But so Miller's in, but Cavill's out. Nothing conclusive with this. No, not really. So perhaps, but who knows? All right. So a Flash movie will be coming, and I guess it will concern the multiverse, and they'll explore that aspect of it, which they could do quite a bit with that. They can even say that the old movies no longer matter. We're going into something else, or what have you. We'll see. All right. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe? And if you've already subscribed, well, I do thank you very much about that. Yeah, I do. And while you're here, check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you.